When I announced that I was going to be traveling up the coast to go and initiate into Ifa, the first question my best friend asked me was, how do I reconcile me initiating with growing up as an Israelite, not the ones yelling at y'all on the corner, respectfully. So I told him that one of the things that made it clear for me was my relationship with God. And so, God as a word or concept is different in ATRs. But for the sake of this conversation, that is what in the West we understand. So, that's the language I'm going to use. But that relationship with Olodumare is different than the relationship I had with the God of the Bible. And that I don't have a fear that God's judging me or a fear that I'm getting it wrong and God's going to be angry with me. I don't have that kind of relationship. The other part is that awareness that in Isese and most other African traditions, there's only one source. And for me, that was the ding, ding, ding moment. There's only one source. The divinities, whether it is the Interu or um, the Orishas, the Loa, or any other divine energies, are aspects of the divine, the source that we engage with more directly. That's still source energy, but it is being manifest in more individualized ways. So when source energy is blowing through the air, that is Oya, and source energy is manifesting as innovation, it's Ogun, and et cetera, et cetera. And understanding that none of these energies, none of any energy is separate from the source. And this is how different cultures and different regions are relating to that energy. For me, then it made sense. I'm not doing anything inherently different. I don't inherently have a worshiping of one God. I'm still only worshiping one source energy. There's an awareness that that source energy is infinite and vast, and now I am venerating those forces of that source energy within nature and how those forces of source energy live and manifest and work in, through, and around me. And that was what made it easy for me. I also feel like part of the reason it was easy for me is because I am in the heart of the Bible Belt and I wasn't a Christian. And so I was already on the fringe. When you're already not in the fold, it made it easy for me. However, I can see where being, if you were a Christian, this would be a hard thing to do. So when you decide that, yes, I'm going to make this move, what do you do? Like what is it that you're going to do first? What are the steps that you should or can take in order to allow yourself to navigate what is a new realm? And one of the things I would encourage you to do is, where I first began is with yourself, and that is where you will find, quote unquote, God. That's where you'll find her. That's where you'll find him. That's where you'll find them, is in you. And when you do that work, then what happens is those pathways energetically begin to open up to the spiritual, cultural, traditional systems that are going to be most aligned to you and your wellness and your destiny. So if I was going to say, what is the first step to moving forward after leaving, Abrahamic religions, it start with the self. When you start with that self work, it will trigger deconstruction. You'll begin asking questions about yourself that you could not answer inherently in your previous religion. So start with yourself. Get someone that can support you in the self work. You don't inherently have to go directly to getting an elder in an African spiritual system, but if you can find an elder in one of those systems who also specializes in Ori work, self work, I would do that. That would be my encouragement, is to find someone that specializes in that work to guide you through those steps. Everything else will come to alignment as is needed. Ashe.